attack. It is too early to sound the all clear. The Europol Executive Director, Rob Wainwright, now joining us from London. And what is Europol's counsel, sir, to companies and employees as they get set to return to work on Monday in order to prevent the impact being any bigger than it is already?
Well, we've got to make sure, of course, the companies, first of all, are taking the dimensions of this cyber threat very seriously. That means if they don't have up-to-date systems, if they're not operating those, if they haven't patched some of the problems that have now been widely advertised, they better do that, I think, before their people turn back up to work on a Monday morning. Otherwise, this problem's going to get a whole lot worse.
What's the intel on why some countries seem to have been affected more than others?
I don't think, none of this seems to be targeted. It's an indiscriminate attack, preying on the fact that in some countries, in some sectors, some people have pretty poor digital hygiene skills, to be honest, you know, because if they had up-to-date systems or patch systems, they wouldn't have been affected. So insofar as there are some countries affected by more, it says something about the level of cyber awareness and just what the investment program might be in certain sectors, which is better, say, in the banking industry than perhaps in the health sector.
So what is your advice specifically to companies and employees at this point?
Well, first of all, you know, at Europol, we're running around 200 global operations a year, and we're well aware of the rising threat from ransomware. It's perhaps become the #1 cyber threat around the world right now, but we've never seen anything on this scale. And our concern is the way in which this, for the first time, we've seen something that combines the ransomware with a worm functionality. So the infection of one computer triggers rather remotely an infection of entire networks. So this is, I think, a very strong wake-up call, as if they didn't need it already, that cybersecurity has to be a top-level executive priority. They have to put in place the right strategy and to make sure, therefore, that some of the basics at least are done, not least over this weekend, so they can prepare for what's going to happen early next week.
Let me be very blunt about this. How bad could things be on Monday?
Well, that rather depends. I'm hoping, of course, that a majority of the companies who are running out-of-date, unpatched systems, you know, reading the newspapers here, their information security departments should be doing their work right now to fix that. So hopefully most of the problem will have been mitigated. But, you know, we had a temporary slowing down of the infection rate over Friday and Saturday because of the work of this cyber security researcher. The cyber criminals have already responded to that and issued a variant of the threat that gets beyond that. So the numbers are rising again. We'll get to the point where we've identified this, and we're working with our global law enforcement partners. We will, and our private security partners, we will get a decryption tool eventually. But for the moment, it's still a live threat, and we're still in disaster recovery mode.
Very briefly, do you know if these hackers have the ability to view or collect any of the data that they are holding ransom?
Well, at Europol, we are collecting some data relating to the particular form of malware that is being spread here, and we are, of course, analysing that at our headquarters and with our international partners. And for the moment, that's not good enough for us to identify who those who are responsible for this, but I think we're well on the way to doing that.